Well, if you've hit the road today, you've seen how much snow and ice have been cleared, but there's still a lot of slippery spots. You can see it right there. Jacob Luthy shows us how some of these roads are looking.
And more layoffs of federal workers are expected as the Trump administration presses ahead with government overhaul.
Covering news where you live. This is 5 News First at 4.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Alexandra Burnley.
And I'm Darren Bob. Let's get straight to it. Chief Meteorologist Scott Covert. We're past maybe the coldest part of all this, and from now on it's just going to get warmer.
It's a slow warm up, but a warm up nonetheless. Saw a little bit of melting out there. I want to show you something that's quite interesting. This is a live picture of satellite. So as seen from space, you can still see where that snow is across mostly northwest Arkansas. You can see a little bit here in the Ouachitas on those ridges and those mountaintops. If you zoom in a little bit closer, what we're going to find as we loop this, you can see that sunshine is certainly starting to show a little bit of melting, especially in the last couple of hours. I'll let that loop begin. We start off mostly snowy out there, but last 2-3 hours, you're seeing a lot more of that melt away. It's all sunshine. It's certainly not the temperatures that are helping. We're still in the 20s and teens in northwest Arkansas, mid to upper 20s, closing in on those low 30s in the River Valley. Not going to make it quite there today, but I do suspect we will by tomorrow. The next several hours looks like this. We'll find temperatures rapidly dropping once that sun sets. By the single digits by 9 o'clock tonight, seeing a few clouds build into the area overnight while you're asleep. Still looking at mostly sunny skies come tomorrow, though. Temperatures quick to drop as well in the River Valley down into the low teens by the first part of tomorrow morning. So it's still going to be bitter cold. We're still looking at potentially breaking even more records tomorrow morning, but not as cold as it was out there today. We'll track that. We'll also take a look ahead as we look into some spring-like weather that's just not too far away. That new 7-day forecast here in just a few.
Can't wait to hear about it. Thanks, Scott. Well, the sun is out again, but the below freezing temperatures are keeping a lot of the pavement pretty slick.
5 News reporter Jacob Luthy, as you can see, joining us now inside the 5 News Storm Chaser with more on what you're seeing. Where are you right now? And it didn't look very good at the beginning.
No, Darren, Alexandra, not where we're at right now. Still a lot of problem areas, a lot of that compacted ice really sticking to the ground. Now, the major, right now, we're in Springdale. We drove on Elm Springs Road. We were on Sunset a second ago. Those streets are much better than what we're seeing kind of on these side roads, on the roads that have not been plowed as much, and that's because they've really made an effort to make sure that they're getting those busy roads, really the people that have to go to work, have places to be, really focusing on those roads, the side roads, the secondary roads. Those are the ones that they're going to start paying more attention to both today and tomorrow as they look for that sun to really help. And I'm going to go ahead and right now and show you kind of what we're looking at. Like I said, there's that thin layer, even though we've been seeing them out here all day plowing the ground, but still there's that really thin layer of ice that's sticking and it's persistent. Now, earlier today, we actually got the chance to follow along with the Springdale Public Works as they continued their effort to clear the roads. You see that in the video right now. James Smith is the director of the Public Works for the city of Springdale, and he says today's attention was really placed on treating the hills with the salt brine and beet juice mixture that we've been hearing from a lot of different agencies use. Now, crews today were using the sun as their friend, as I had mentioned earlier, letting the ice melt and then going in and replowing that ice that had been stuck. And Smith says that this is simply a rinse and repeat process until those temperatures begin to rise.
Even though it's below freezing, the sun is good radiant heating, and once that breaks loose, then we'll probably gang plow either Huntsville 71, 265, and peel it all off while it's still melting. Because once the sun sets this evening, it goes back below freezing, it's stuck solid again.
And then you repeat that process?
Repeat the process tomorrow.
Now, again, that kind of rinse and repeat process that I was talking about, you know, different from last time. The temperatures kind of rose quickly in January when we had snow. This time, that cold is sticking around, making it a little bit more difficult for these crews to do their job. We are heading on down to Fayetteville to give you a little look as to what those conditions look like over there. But right now, like I said, those side streets, please be careful on them. They're still very slick. There's still that layer of ice. And I'll go ahead and send it back to you guys.
Still very slippery out there. Thank you, Jacob. All right, the U of A says a mechanical issue is impacting the ability to heat all of the campus. Right now, university leaders say heating is reduced by 25% in buildings east of Razorback Road. So the university is diverting its remaining 75% of its heating capacity to the priority buildings like residence and dining halls. Hot water will only be available in residence halls from 1 to 7 today, so everyone can shower. The university is asking everyone on campus to conserve power while the crews work on tackling this problem. We'll share an update from the U of A press conference tonight. And by the way, if you or anyone you know needs a warm place to stay, we have details on some warming centers that are open. Text the word warm to the number you see there. We'll text you back a link with the addresses and phone numbers of places that are open.
Some school districts already canceling classes again for tomorrow. As crews try to clear those side streets. Springdale, Rogers, Huntsville, Greenland all have the day off again tomorrow. You can scan that QR code there on your screen. It'll take you directly to our closings page on our website. We're not the only ones who have seen winter weather this week. Dozens of schools in both North Carolina and in Virginia have to close today following a winter storm there. Meanwhile, Kentucky's still feeling the effects of the storm today. A salt truck overturned on the side of the road in Lexington. Snow-related pileups leading to major backups on the interstate.
Well, just been sitting up here on the highway for a little over 2 hours. It's normally about a 25-minute drive.
In Virginia, state police said treacherous conditions led to more than 400 crashes yesterday. Virginia Beach got a rare 10 inches of snow. That's the most that region has seen since 2010.
Wow. Meanwhile, new at 4, the Senate confirmed Kash Patel as the new FBI director with a 51-49 vote. Republicans Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski voted against his confirmation. Patel now has a 10-year term at the FBI.
Another round of federal job cuts coming, and as Erica Brown reports, this time the cuts are coming to the agency responsible for bringing money into the government's coffers.
President Trump and advisor Elon Musk are targeting the IRS for their Department of Government Efficiency's next round of layoffs. More than 6,000 IRS employees are expected to receive termination notices by the end of the week.
We're studying every agency and deciding who to let go and why. And we're doing so very rationally with a lot of support from analysis.
Musk, who is set to speak at the Conservative Political Action Committee conference Thursday, claims the cuts are saving taxpayers billions.
Already saving $50 billion in a single year, which over a 10-year period would be $500 billion.
But some lawmakers say the cuts are coming too fast and too deep.
I'm all over being supportive of finding efficiencies, eliminating the waste, fraud, and abuse there. But there is a way that we go about it, and we do it within the confines of the law.
The campaign to slash the size of government is headed across the Potomac to the Pentagon, where CBS News has learned the administration told senior leaders to prepare for an 8% budget cut.
We're cutting spending with the advice of our IT consultant, Elon Musk.
The Pentagon is expected to shift those funds to other Defense Department programs that are priorities for the president, such as border security. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
There's tension bubbling between President Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who President Trump called a dictator and blamed Ukraine for Russia's invasion of the country. Today, President Trump's special envoy to Ukraine, retired General Keith Kellogg, met with Ukraine's president. President Trump has claimed Ukraine talked the U.S. into sending $350 billion to defend itself against Russia. But government data shows U.S. funding at about $183 billion, the vast majority actually appropriated by Congress. Following talks this week between Secretary of State Marco Rubio and his Russian counterpart, the Trump administration is trying to push back on European allies' concerns that Ukraine has been left out of negotiations.
We're consulting our allies. We're consulting the Ukrainians. There's a term for this in diplomacy. It's called shuttle diplomacy, because bringing everybody to the table at once just hasn't worked in the past.
The Trump administration is also pushing Ukraine to sign off on a proposal to give America access to the country's rare earth minerals. President Zelensky rejected that initial offer, saying it would need to be tied to security guarantees for the capital, Kyiv.
We're in good shape area-wide here this afternoon on those interstates. One minor issue in northwest Arkansas to pass along to you. This is going to be looking southbound right along 49 towards that Sunset exit. Looks like we do have an 18-wheeler. It's got some mechanical issues of some sort. He's pulled over on the right-hand shoulder. Folks having to navigate around that. Still, though, no major slowdowns out there expected, at least over the next few minutes. If that changes, we'll be the first to let you know. Do have some big weather changes to talk about, weather changes that I think a lot of folks are probably going to like. Details in your new 7-day forecast.
Well, if you need something to warm you up, maybe a cup of coffee will do it for you. Onyx Coffee Lab in Rogers has been named the #1 coffee shop in North America and the #2 coffee shop in the world. The list was released by the world's 100 best coffee shops. That's a group that ranks them.
You know, I think anybody that has been to our cafes has probably had really incredible, warm, hospitable treatment from our baristas and also experiences world-class coffee. And so I feel like I'm really proud, I'm really excited, and I'm really grateful to have such a good team that's committed to doing great work day after day.
Well, they came in second in the worldwide competition, just behind Toby's Estate Coffee Roasters in Australia, just ahead of Go To Coffee Experts in Austria. They were the only American coffee shop in the top 10 worldwide. Congrats to them.